So hi, I think I am again online and I want to wish you again a nice day and welcome to another microscopy Saturday. My name is Oliver, Microbehunter some people also call me, and today I want to look at a few insects under the microscope. And you can already see that the setup here has changed around a little bit. I've got now a camera also for my stereo microscope, so you can see what's happening on the stage of the stereo microscope. And over here also a view under the stereo microscope as well. Okay, I hope that everything works as intended and that the stream is reasonably fluid, because I see that sometimes there seems to be a little bit of a delay here. So I hope that this is gonna work out fine. Video is still okay. That's interesting. Well, I hope that it in any case that you are able to see me and hear me properly. Okay. So I hope that the video transmission is okay. Otherwise, please do give me a message. Okay. Okay, yeah. So a short view of what I wanted to do today. Last week I showed you some antique microscope slides that I bought, and we did not quite finish them. And there are a few microscope slides that I have here now on my desk, which also contain some insects. And what I would like to do today is not only look at them, but I also would like to show you how it is possible to actually make a so-called stitched image. Stitched image means that you can combine a video of the slide into an image. So basically you can really make very large pictures of this. So even if the specimen does not fit on the camera, then you're still able to get an image with a full specimen. Okay, and that's kind of what I would like to do today. Okay, usually it takes a couple of minutes until people start to join in, and for this reason at the beginning I usually say hello around the world. And yeah, there is already some people commenting here. Hello from Montreal, from the Netherlands, from the UK, from Belgium. Sound is okay. Yeah, from Rhode Island, the United States. Okay, good. Okay, from Germany, from Greece. The video was very briefly still. I hope that it works now. From Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I mean. Okay, now it's okay. I hope that it works. There was actually a setting that the software recommended concerning the so-called delay. So there's a little buffer built in, and I hope that essentially the buffer doesn't run full. Okay, so that's basically what I would like to do today, and I would like to quickly show you again this picture over here. Okay, so what you have here are these little insects that are collected from a lamp. So I've got a lamp up there on my room. And these insects kind of found their way into the lamp because of the light, and basically they collected there, and they look pretty white. So apparently the bright light bleached them. They're very dry. I think it's almost impossible to mount. They don't particularly look very nice. But maybe you do notice something else, and that is you probably, if you've already seen some of my stereo pictures before, the image quality is much better. Yeah, it's actually much more crisp. The reason is because I've got a new camera. Yeah, and the image quality is indeed significantly better, and I'm going to talk also about that. Okay, so in other words, yeah, if you just want to look at some of those insects here, look, you can actually zoom in quite nicely. Yeah, of course you have to refocus again. Yeah, but the clarity is significantly better than what it was before. Yeah, so yeah, looks like there are a lot of leaf hoppers in your mix. Yeah, I think it's a mixed assortment of insects. I did not identify them, right? And they are extremely brittle. It's not a particularly nice looking sample either, but I just wanted to try this a little bit as a test, as a first test ever since I connected my new camera. Okay, so I just wanted to also show you the new setup, and then before we actually start looking at some of the slides, I do have another camera connected here, which allows me to Okay, I bumped it, which allows me to kind of, have it in my hand. So that's the software that I'm using. And I just would like to show you the new setup that I have. So that is basically my stereo microscope with a ring lamp. Okay, so far nothing unusual. But up here, what I have is this here is an industrial camera. It's an HDMI camera, so not USB, but HDMI. And over here, this is a reduction optics. And then the HDMI signal goes out here and it goes down here. And this is an HDMI to USB converter, and then it goes into the computer. Okay. Yeah, and over here, this here is the camera that captures the stage here. Just wanted to show it to you very briefly. But I'm going to actually, for my other channel, I'm currently working on a video that explains this whole new setup as well. Okay, so that's the thing that we have here. So, and what I would like to also ask you, if you have any questions, because if you're maybe new to this live stream and you would like to ask anything microscopy specific, no guarantee that I'm able to answer it, but I'll try my best. But please do indicate that you actually have a question for me by saying @Oliver or @Microbehunter, and then I can skip ahead and I can directly look at those questions, and then I can try to give you an answer. Okay, so that is a little bit the idea here. And again, I would like to do a little bit of also a little software tutorial today to show you how you can actually create stitched images. So a few things here. Last week I wanted to show you some of those slides here, but we didn't quite get all the way through. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to have a set of entomology slides. Entomology, basically study of insects. And these slides are a little bit older. Some of them can be maybe 100 years old, and I'm going to just look at them, okay, with you, and then I'm going to show you what I've done here. Why a new camera setup? Does the image is the image better than your DSLR? Well, that's an interesting one. Okay, just for clarification, I've got 2 microscopes with 2 cameras, so I'm going to show this to you. Thank you for asking, because just for clarification, this is my stereo microscope. Okay, but on the other side I have my compound microscope, which is connected to a DSLR camera, also with HDMI. Okay, so this is basically I'm able to switch between 2 microscopes. So and this is also the reason why I kind of readjusted a little bit the screens. So that is now that's now the other camera. Okay, and I just see that the stage at the top is not showing. So this is a little bit of a pity, because I actually wanted. Yes, here we go. Here it is. Okay, so that's the stage showing. Let me quickly move this here up as well. So okay, so now you can actually see as well what's happening on the other microscope. Okay, Feldzahl. That is the field of view. I will talk quickly about this as well. But this is also one of those specimens that we looked at last week. Okay, but I just wanted to quickly show this to you again. We're going to have a quick look at this. I'm going to go into bright field, and then I'm going to show you how you can make a stitched image of this. Okay, so this is, let me take it out again and read it. I forgot to do that. Desk view, that's the label. Entomology, that is the study of insects, head and mouth parts of a female gnat, GNAT. So that's also one of the slides I showed you last week. Okay, and then we're going to make a stitched image. So, okay, that's how it looks like. And we go up a little bit with the magnification. And if you already joined in last week, then you know that we had a little discussion about where are the eyes. And the eyes, if you see those little hexagonal structures here, these are the individual elements of the eye, the so-called the ommatidia. And because they're pretty transparent, I think the sample here is bleached. So, and now Crispy B is asking, when looking for microscope lenses for photography, I often find the term Feldzahl in millimeters. Is that the same as the image circle? This is also referred to as the field of view. And yes, and I don't have a, you know what, I'm just going to grab one of my other, yeah, basically eyepieces. And basically that's from my compound microscope. The field of view basically tells you something about the diameter in millimeters, yeah, that you have in here. So, for example, a field of view, many standard microscope eyepieces have a field of view of 18 millimeters. This one, of course, is much larger, but basically the larger the diameter here is the more you're able to see of the specimen at a given magnification. Yeah? So-called wide field eyepieces will have a larger field of view. So for example, this one over here has a field of view of 23. So this means that this is the diameter is 23 millimeters. Okay, yeah, so that's simply tells you something a little bit about how much if you're actually only looking. I mean, yeah, look my face, for example. Yeah, you're not able to see much of my face. Yeah, and for better eyepieces, the field of view is larger. You're seeing more of my face, but you see that magnification is the same. The size of my face didn't change in size, right? Yeah. So basically, you would like to have, of course, eyepieces with a large field of view. So, but let's go back again to this view over here. Okay, and so the question that we have now is, and that's a little bit something I would like to explain to you, is I would like to have essentially a picture where the whole head of this insect is shown. And now you're going to say, well, what's the big problem? No problem, just reduce the magnification and take a picture of this, and then you have the whole head, right? That certainly would be a possibility, but at the same time, I'm also, of course, losing some details, so I cannot zoom in so much. Or here with a 4x objective, yeah, like this, I'm still able to capture more, yeah. But even here at the lowest magnification, sometimes the specimen is even larger than what I'm able to see. Yeah, so how can you now combine the different parts together into one final image? Yeah, and essentially there are so-called panorama software that can do that, there are also free panorama software out there, and I put a link into the description. One of them that I highly recommend is this Microsoft Image Composite Editor, Microsoft MS Ice, it's called. And it's a program that is not maintained anymore. So it's been kind of archived, but it is still available for download. And it's a pretty straightforward program and a pretty good program. And the reason why this program works so well, and I know there are other panorama software also out there, but there is a fundamental difference, and that which I would really like to explain because that's important for understanding. Many I'm going to use this webcam as an example. Okay, if you want to make a panorama, basically what this software assumes is that you put your camera on a tripod and then you kind of rotate, right? Around a central axis, and then the software will put the images together, stitch them together, and then you have a panorama. But this is not suitable if you want to make images that are larger also vertically. So basically what you have to do is you actually, the camera should, in a picture like this, is actually not rotating, but there is a horizontal movement, and that is very different from the geometry. And you also want to stitch two dimensions together, not just in one direction, but also vertically, right? So not all panorama software is able to do that, but this MSI's program is able to do that. And you do not even need to combine different images. You can actually take a video. So essentially, it is very convenient, and I would like to show this to you now. I'm going to do this in real time, so there is a little bit of waiting time also necessary because, it takes some time for the computer to process this. I will do that first, and then because there are still some more questions here that I'm hopefully not going to forget, but let's do this. Okay, so where is this one over here? Yes, okay, I'm going to quickly show you how this works here. Yes, here we go. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start off here. I'm going to go discard. Okay, and what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start at the very beginning, and I'm going to now I've made a video, yeah, an 11-second video of this specimen, which I'm now opening up, and this is how it looks like. Okay, so look, when you play the video, yeah, look what I've done. I simply made a video, yeah, of the slide. Yeah. In this case, I only moved down. The reason why I'm not moving also horizontally is because the video would be too long and the processing time would be too long, and then you have to wait, I don't know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, which is going to be too boring for the live stream. So I made a very short video simply to illustrate to you how this works, right? So this is basically the video, and I would like to make an image of this. And I click here at the top. Okay, the next one, or you can also click the next button here on the corner. So just click next, and then you have to wait a little bit, and you now see that the software is analyzing the video, and then it's aligning the images and it's putting an image together. And this is, yeah, of course you can also take overlapping pictures. That's not a problem. I always like to work with a video because then you only have one file. And yeah, just make sure when you record the video that you do not move too quickly, otherwise the image becomes a little bit blurry. Yeah, and now let's have a look what the software does. Again, if you want to download it, it's freely available. I put the link into the description. Yeah, it's called the Image Composite Editor from the company Microsoft. So it's yeah, a well-known program. However, it has not been maintained and updated for quite a long time. But I think it's a really good program. And look, this is what we get. Yeah, you see that it has already put it together, right? And the next thing is we now have to crop. That's the next thing, and you see that it's very difficult to see here, but on the side it's not quite because the camera was not properly aligned. Yeah, there is a little bit of a black area over here. So what I do is I go not autocomplete. If you go autocomplete, then some kind of AI algorithm is going to fill in those corners here. I don't want that. I go to auto crop, so it will actually cut away everything that and just make a nice little box around it. And then you click export, and you can choose the image quality over here, and then you can export it to disk. Okay, and you see I've already completed this, and I called it it's called Stitch 2 because it's the second one, and I click save. Yeah, and then you've got a picture. Yeah, okay. You've got it saved, and then you can essentially improve the contrast and do whatever with it, whatever you want to do. Yeah? But this is a program that I'm using quite often. Because I think especially when you look at insect specimens or other things, it's sometimes if you get the whole structure together, then you have a much better orientation. Yeah, so that's a really nice thing. Let me quickly go back to some of the questions that you might have. Yeah. And I'm going to go to the questions again. Is it correct that only an objective with higher magnification shows more details and oculars only show the specimen bigger? If yes, why? I'm sorry for my bad English. So basically the thing is the following. If you want to magnify something, then you have to go up with the magnification of the objective. Because if you do that, then you also increase the resolution. What you do otherwise is the following. If you just say, I'm going to use a low magnification objective and a high magnification eyepiece, then the image is going to be larger, but it's going to be more blurry. Okay, so you don't gain anything. So if you want, so generally, all you need is a 10 times eyepiece that stays. And if you want to go up with the magnification, then you increase the magnification of the objective, because then you're actually also seeing more details. To give you an example, theoretically, you could use a 40 times objective and a 10 times eyepiece, to get 400 times. Yeah, and then you will see details. If you now were to use, let's say I don't know, a low, let's say the other way around, let's say a 4 times objective and 100 times eyepiece, heaven forbid, yeah, this doesn't even exist, yeah, then you're also going to get a 400 times magnification, but it's going to be all blurry. Yeah, so that's the important difference here. Yeah. I am a developer and currently working on a software that can preview the live images of a USB camera and can also focus to stacking. Do you know a software for stitching that has an API? Yes, I've heard about this. Nfuse and Nblend, I think. These are command line programs that I once heard about. Yeah, and you might have a look into that, but I cannot tell you a lot of information here. But I know that also, especially in the Linux community, there are some stitching and blending. Yeah, these are all command line programs. But I think you might want to have a look into Nfuse and Nblend. I darkly remember, that basically these are stitching and stacking software. But I cannot tell you a lot about this. Yeah. How about Photoshop for stitching? I have also done that. But I found it. I don't know about the modern Photoshop versions, but for the images that I had to stitch, essentially, I find it more useful to actually make videos. It's simply easier. But the old Photoshop version that I had is I had to take a lot of overlapping pictures, and this was actually not so automatic. And sometimes I had to define the points manually of how it's stitched together. Okay. So that is, a little bit here. Would the image quality be better if using still images compared with a video? I would say probably yes, and for 2 reasons. First of all, if you use still images, then you have automatically a higher resolution because the photographs have the pictures have a higher resolution. Here you just only have full HD, so the pixel resolution is lower. However, that's not really the issue. If you actually start to take the video and if you move too fast, I just want to show this to you. Let's go back again to the scope view, right? If I make a video and if I move too fast, okay, what you have is then you have a motion blur. Yeah, so that means the individual frames, they also look blurry, and then you do not get a good quality either, right? So you have to make sure that either the shutter speed is very high, or that you move slowly enough, for the video. But still, even if you move slowly, I sometimes found that it's still faster than trying to take overlapping pictures. Yeah? So for all practical purposes, I think video is more practical. Yeah, but you can try it out. Yeah. The hexagonals are very clear on stitch 2. Yeah. Can you make a camera move in this photo? So basically, I guess what you assume is the following: is if you have a large photo in a video, then is it possible to kind of pan over the photo? Right? And the answer, if this is what you mean, then the answer is it's clearly yes, and this is what I'm doing for my videos. I cannot do it now here live in OBS Studio, but if you watch some of my my videos on this channel, then sometimes what I do is occasionally I have a smooth view transition of a camera across the slide. Right? I cannot move so smoothly by rotating the knobs of the microscope. If I try to move, it's not very smooth, right? So what I usually do is I usually take a very large picture, and then I define a starting point and I define an end point, and then allow the software to kind of move smoothly, right? And then you can also you can add some rotation and some zooming and so on. So you can go really crazy and you can try all of these things. So large images have a real advantage also because they allow you to do a little bit more video editing as well. Yeah. Generally, when I do video editing, maybe that's also something that I would like to kind of share with you. I want to include movement, but this slide that you see over here, that's a static slide. These are, yeah, it's obviously there's no movement here. And for videos, in order to introduce some movement, what I sometimes do is I sometimes deliberately focus a little bit, yeah, and blur it so to find the focus. This also captures a little bit the attention of the audience, or I do, yeah, some digital zooming, yeah. So right now, if I zoom in like this, then it's of course only from yeah, you're jumping in magnification. But if I want to have a smooth zoom, then you can all do that much better if you have pictures. Yeah. So that's also a little bit of a background info on how I do my video editing. Yeah. Let me quickly read. I'm very clear. With the program, yes, the program that I'm using, not here, but for making the video edits, is DaVinci Resolve, and this is it's a free program as well. I mean, I got the paid version because there's still some more features, but you can also download that, and it really gives you a lot of things to experiment around with. Yeah. Okay. Okay, you cannot go faster than the shutter speed. That's correct. Yeah, panning and digital movement over the image is also part of my software. Also, I can control the slide movement with my software. So that's also actually something that I've been thinking about a little bit. Is maybe to add some kind of a motor to when I do live streams like this. I have to reach over now to the microscope, but it would be kind of nice to also have some kind of a system in place where I can maybe control the whole thing with a joystick. Yeah, yeah. So that's. Okay, yeah. So DaVinci is amazing. Yeah, it's DaVinci Resolve, it's called, and you can download it for free. Yeah, it's it's a very powerful video editing program. Yeah. So let's go on to the next one over here. Yeah. So this is I'll just put the ones that I already looked at over here on top. The next one is, I think we did already look at it. Yeah, we did not look at this one over yet. This one is also nice. This one are it does not focus. Scales from the wing of a tortoiseshell butterfly. So it's a butterfly wing. Okay. And the scales are very typical. And you find them quite often also in house dust. So let's have a look here again. You always start at the lowest magnification. So let's go down a little bit here. It's blurry, of course. This is how it looks like. Okay, we might really want to go up a little bit more. So these are the scales of a butterfly. Okay. I don't know what those lines are. It could be some, I don't know, a little bit too long for here, I would say. Yeah, but in any case, these are butterfly scales. Yeah, and here too, I did a little bit of a stitching. Yeah, yeah, and maybe in the future, what I will do now that I have the new camera also on my stereo microscope, I'm going to maybe do also a video session on stacking using helicon focus, which is quite nice. Yeah. Yeah, veins maybe. I don't know if these are indeed vessels or something. We have to zoom in here. I was already worried that this could be some kind of I don't know. Maybe yeah. Could be. I don't know. Yeah. In any case, yeah. So if you see those structures in dust somewhere or in some water samples, then you know that these are from the scales of a butterfly. Yeah. Helicon focus is quite a nice program as well, which combines different images of a different focus into one clear image. Yeah. So again, here I would like to show you a little bit how the stitching works. It's pretty much the same as before. So what I will do is I have to go over again to just a second, where is... here is the Windows here. I have to switch over to the other program. I go again to the beginning. I discard this. And now let's have a look at the butterfly scale. So I'm opening again a video which I made. Yeah. And this one is going to be a little bit longer because I'm going into 2 dimensions. You see, I'm moving over horizontally now, and then I'm moving back up. I've already stitched together far larger specimens as well. So I click over here on top, stitch, or I can also click next, it doesn't matter. And then it will again analyze the video, and it will again align the image and compose the images. So why am I doing this stuff, you might wonder. I do receive emails and comments, and people want to, of course, they want to get a new microscope, and they want to upgrade, they want to try out new things, and so on. And I recommend that if you want to try out things, don't always, of course you can do that, it's not a problem, but it's not necessary to always tweak around on the microscope. Sometimes it's also quite nice to simply do a little bit of image editing and stitching and stacking images together and so on. So it's not always necessary to do hardware. So, and this is already shows the following. That's the combined image, and what we see over here already is that it's not a square image, right? And that's fine. So I go crop. And now you see that over here on the sides here and over here there is something missing, and I can now go auto crop, and then it will basically take the inside here, right? Or no crop, then we're back here again. But something that I would not do, but let's try it in any case. Let's try autocomplete. You shouldn't be doing that because you're kind of creating image information that doesn't actually really exist, so you're actually kind of faking it. But let's try it in any case. Not tried it yet, but it will now. You see, didn't work quite well, but you see, try to fill in, copy paste in something in here. No, it's not something I would do. So what you do is you go auto crop, and then you can go to export. And then you can again export it, and this is what I have done as well. And then it's can be found on the disk, and then you can do with it whatever you want. So you see that it looks actually pretty nice. Now, why is this so useful? Is this because even with a camera system that only has a very limited field of view, you can still generate actually and make pictures that are fairly large. So I remember back in the day, over 20 years ago, when all of this, these possibilities didn't exist, my first microscope camera was actually a webcam, 640 by 480 pixels. It's really low. And I simply connected it to my photo tube of my old microscope at that time, and then I had several hundred pictures which I manually stitched together in Photoshop. So this was really quite a lot of work. Maybe silly, but why was stitch 2's hexagonals clearer than the normal view? That's an interesting question. It could be that okay. I think I have an answer here. When you actually saw the normal view, then actually you saw the live view of my microscope, and maybe it was a little bit out of focus. And the video that I made, I prepared in advance to save a little bit of time for this live stream. So that could be maybe the reason that the video that I actually used had a slightly different focus than the live view that I just showed you. Maybe you could make a micrometeorite hunting. I've already tried that. And actually, I did find some very round, tiny micrometeorite-like structures, but strictly speaking, you don't know for sure whether these are micrometeorites, right? You have to do some isotope analysis and so on, because it could also be that these are man-made, some from pollutants and so on from industry. So that is, but it's something I can try in any case. Thank you for the recommendation. So we move on again to the scope view, and let's have another look at the next slide. Always go down a little before exchanging the slide. I always go down with the magnification here. So, we still have a few left. So what is this here? I think I did not make a picture of this, a video of this. Let's have a look. No, that's the wrong one here. This one here. The mouth organs of a housefly. Yeah, I think we already looked at this last week already. Okay. So. Yep, we have to focus. Here we go. Okay. It's okay. It's pretty huge. Yeah. Yeah, and did we look at this already? No, I think it was a different one. That's actually quite nice. I think I've not seen this one yet. Yeah. Yeah, so that is basically the head and the mouth parts of a housefly. No, we've not looked at this before, I think. Yeah. Yeah. Unfortunately, unfortunately, I did not make a video of this now, and I cannot do that right now either. But what you see is it's even at the lowest magnification, it is not able to fit, into the field of view. Yeah? So it would be quite easy for me to simply make a video here, like this, and then use that video for generating, a large image. Yeah. Another question, is there something more or less easily accessible that I can use for making insects transparent? I looked at them with the top light, but they are black. Yes, as a matter of fact, for bleaching, what people usually do, and you have to do a little bit of research, because I did not try this myself yet. Bleaching is possible by placing the insect for some days into KOH solution, potassium hydroxide, or some other alkaline solution like NaOH. Okay, sodium hydroxide. But some alkaline basic solution will actually bleach the insects, and then you have to dehydrate them. You have to take away the water by placing them in alcohol, and then you can mount them. Yeah, but if you actually want to look at insects using top illumination, light on top, then it's perfectly fine. When they're not transparent. They don't have to be, because you're just seeing the surface structure anyway. But for those insects like you have over here, other direction like over here, yeah, like the head of the fly, if it is not bleached, then sometimes it's so dark that you're not able to see anything at all. But for top illumination, like for example with my stereo microscope, it's not necessary. Yeah. So this is a... Yeah, we can actually go a little bit up with the magnification, and I will. So this is now with a condenser. Look, it always fascinates me. Look, the enormous complexity and intricacies, yeah, of this. Yeah, fascinating. That's one thing that fascinates me, and the other thing that fascinates me is that the quality of the slide is so good, because those folks, I already said it before. Who made those slides around 100 years ago, they really put a lot of work into those. Yeah. Yeah. So it's really, really nice. Yeah. We can go up further. Yeah, and it also shows that if you prepare the slide properly and if you mount the specimen properly, then essentially those slides, they are basically almost can be stored indefinitely. It's really fascinating. So, and you know what? Let's try now this 40 times. Of course, I always have to go up with the field of view. Not the field of view. The depth of field, of course, also goes down. Let's go check here. It seems to be the tube where the food is being sucked up. Yeah, and here. Yeah, that's basically the front part of the bottom part of the mouth. Yeah, so it's a really nice slide. Okay, but I think I did not make a video of this. So let's move on to the next one. And the next one is, what is this here? The tongue of a bee. And I think for that one I did make again, yeah, a stitched image. So let's put it back into the microscope. Scope view, yes, here we go again. Okay, always refocus a bit. Yeah, and let's go down with the magnification further. This is how it looks like. Yeah, also, yeah, the front part of it. There's a little bit of dust here on the slide. I guess it's okay. Yeah. Again, here at the lowest magnification, it would look quite interesting if we could actually have a complete picture. And then in Photoshop, you can also remove all of the dust and the dirt and all of these imperfections. Yeah, so that's generally a possibility as well. And then we can go again to the Windows view. And let's try that. Discard. And I forgot, I think that's this one over here. Yes, it is. So this is the video that I made. Okay, I have to see if the thing here is, where is this? Yeah, so that's how it looks like. Let's now go and stitch it. It will again analyze the video. It will extract the individual pictures, the individual frames, and then it will start to align the images again, and it will combine it into one final image. There's something else that I also want to show you then before I forget about that. Let's wait a little bit here. Yes, here it is. Yeah. Yeah. So, and again, we can go into, yeah, but let's go back here and look. One of the things I just want to mention over here now, I went to auto detect. Yeah. But what you want generally, it will auto detect the so-called a planar motion, right? Again, this is not something that all of the programs are able to do. Yeah. So this is actually the reason why I like this program so much, because it's able to piece images together that are horizontally shifted. Yeah. So did I? Yeah, here we go again. Crop. I go auto crop. Yeah, and then I can go export again. Export to disk, and then I have again, yeah, the picture together. Look, it does look a little bit blurry here. Yeah, so maybe it did move a little bit too fast, or the resolution is a little too low. Yeah. Yeah. But it's good enough, I would say. Yeah. Now you see over here, it's not quite as clear. So maybe, yeah, maybe it is better maybe to take individual pictures sometimes. It depends really of what you need and what the final image size should be. But if you actually zoom in here, you see that some of the hair are actually not quite clear, and they're very pixely because of the video resolution. Yeah. So let's have, over here, micrometeorite hunting, the ones that make, is there something more or less easily accessible that I can use for making insects transparent? Oh, yeah, already answered that. That's some potassium hydroxide. Yeah. So that's the next program for my work. Okay. Yeah, I think it's a little bit of a pity that the program is not updated anymore, and I did not really have. I'm not aware of any other free program that is able to do that. Yeah, so that's a little bit of a pity. I know that there are some commercial panorama software available, but this one actually works really nice. Yeah. So I would like to show you something else as well, because right now we only made images that are square, but it's also possible the program is also able to make images that are not square. Just want to show this to you as well. For example, here, what we have is we have the leg of a bee. Where is this? The desk view again here, that's the leg of a bee. Okay. Yeah, as you see, it's yeah. And what I have done here is I'm just going to show you first. Also made a video of this, but not in a square, but I simply went along. Yeah, I simply went along the leg of the bee. Okay, so for example, yeah, I started here and then I made a video by moving up like this, yeah, and then across like this, yeah. So it's not in a box, but actually it's kind of traveling into one direction, yeah. So yeah, so that's the way it looks like, yeah. Looks also quite fascinating, I think. But still, many of them are actually standard specimens. Look, this one unfortunately has been a little bit damaged during the preparation process. It's ripped a bit here. This is because, of course, the bee's leg has a certain thickness, and if you press it and compress it, and of course this might damage the specimen a little bit. Yeah. But we're going to do now the following again. I need to go into the Windows view. I always need to click around a little bit here, and let's discard this. And where is the B leg? Here it is. Okay, and that's how it looks like. Yeah, so I made a video just like I showed you. Okay, and let's see, yeah, how this actually works. Occasionally it doesn't work quite well. If you move too fast or if there are no recognizable details. Again, auto detect. If this doesn't work, we have to switch over to planar motion. Let's go stitch again. Same as before. Okay, the software is now analyzing the video, extracting the individual frames. Okay, let's see how well this works. Yeah, we gotta be patient here. It's a little bit longer, the video. Occasionally, if it's also happened that I had to wait quite a long time, and then unfortunately it did not work, and it was not able to properly stitch it together. Yeah, so in this case, I sometimes suggest that you simply stitch together first kind of rows and save them separately, and then in a second step that you stitch those rows together again. Yeah. A little bit of a disadvantage as well, I just need to say this, is if you've got, for example, auto exposure settings, this can be a problem because then the camera will always adjust the brightness. And then when you look at darker parts of the image, then the camera will go up with the brightness, and if you look at bright parts, it will go down, and then sometimes it cannot really match properly. So actually, in this case, I think it might even be better to take actual manual pictures. Yeah. See? And what do we have here? It didn't work. Okay? So this is a little bit something that I've already also experienced before. So let's try the following. Let's go back to import and let's go over here to planar motion. And let's try it again. And you see it goes a little bit faster now because it already analyzed it. So sometimes it's not able to recognize it, maybe because it did not go in a certain pattern. And let's hope that this works better now. It actually should, because I tried it out before. But I simply wanted to demonstrate this right now, that sometimes if it's not able to create a proper image, then you have to maybe manually choose the way that the images should be composed together. Yeah. If the slide is turned 90 degrees, would you then be able to use the other program that can only scan? Yeah, okay, see? Now it worked, okay? The program that can only scan from left to right, or am I totally wrong? If the slide, the problem is, no, you still cannot. So Marie is asking, if you basically just take one row, and are you able to use then the programs that are designed to make some kind of a panorama horizontally? And the most likely not. The reason is that many of these programs assume that the camera is rotated around a central spot. And then the program will actually also consider the distortion of the lens, right? And try to correct this as well. But what we've got here is we're not rotating a camera, but we're actually moving a camera
on a plane, right? On a flat, and the mass is different, yeah. And that's the reason why not all panorama software actually works, because you need one that is actually able to put the images together, which are overlapping but flat, and not where you actually have a camera on one position which actually rotates and takes overlapping images. Yeah, but you might want to try it. But generally, I was not very successful with those programs. Yeah, so you see over here, if it didn't work, it was not able to automatically recognize the camera motion. So I kind of forced it for a planar motion, and now it works. Yeah, so just wanted to illustrate this, not to give up. Okay, so if in case this was too fast, yeah, over here I had first auto detect and it didn't work, and then I used the planar motion, yeah, and then it worked. Again, crop. Look, now auto crop would not make a lot of sense, because all of those empty spaces here would be cropped away, but it's necessary. Auto crop would actually only take this part here, right? So that's not going to work. So if you export it, then the background here, either it's going to be white or black, and you can simply clean it up in Photoshop. So that's not a real big problem. So, but it shows you here that it's possible kind of also to trace out the object. So again, a few questions. I would like to join the forum and send you an email. A few weeks ago already. Okay, interesting. You see, I don't know if, okay, maybe you can send it again. It is like this, that I'm receiving a lot of spam registrations, right? And for this reason, I would like to, ask you to write me an email. But sometimes there is also you also have to write a justification when you register. And sometimes the justification is either AI generated or it has nothing to do with microscopy. And then it's kind of already a sign that essentially it's a spam registration. Right? So I have to try my best to assume that, to figure out if you're human or not. So this is something that I would like to simply ask you. If you want to register for the forum, please do send me an email, but also make it plausible for me that you're actually a real human being. It's becoming difficult these days, because with all of the AI systems, they kind of now even imitate humans quite well. And sometimes it's difficult for me to distinguish if actually you're a real human or not. But for example, if you kind of specify a little bit which microscopes you have and a little bit of what your background is and why you want to join the forum, then of course I'll immediately sign you up for it, right? And you give you the access. Yeah. But then sometimes actually get justifications. I want to sell some software. Really? Yeah. No, that's not the point. Yeah. We want to stay microscopy related here. Yeah. Does this work with Windows 10? Even when with your link I can't find the download itself. Really? Yes, it works with Windows 10. It's a fairly old. That's kind of interesting. Maybe you can try to. I mean, I see it here. Yeah, it's just a second. Let me quickly check. I mean, I can post the link also into the chat here. Yeah, actually it should work. Let me try it. Yeah, no, if you in the description, oh, I see what you mean. Because it says here it works for Windows Vista, Windows 7, Windows 8. Yes, I've got Windows 11 and it works. Okay, sorry. Now I understand. The specifications actually say that Windows 7, Windows 8, and so on. But actually, it should work because I'm using it right now. Okay, so now I get it. What the question is? Yeah. Yeah, Microsoft took it away and YouTube deletes links. That could be also an issue. Yeah? But what you can try to do is you just Google MSI's Microsoft Image Composite Editor, you're going to end up on the Microsoft page, and over there it's not available anymore. But there are some software magazines, computer magazines like Chip and Heise, the German ones, and they still have links to it available. Yeah, yeah. So try to autocomplete this image. That's actually a good one. Let's try to autocomplete this image. I don't know what's going to happen. So let's click. Are you able to see this? Yeah, we're here. Let's try autocomplete. Click. Let's see what it does. If it fills in the background also as white. I hope so. Almost. Okay, that's autocomplete, almost. Yeah. So it's not perfect, yeah, but you see all of this strange stuff here, right? Okay, but that's actually interesting, yeah. So let's do it away. But I think it's in Photoshop you can easily fill it in, yeah. So let's try another one. How many more? I think I have one more left here. Okay. Let's have a look. It always takes me some time to kind of click around here. Okay. Yeah, let's remove the arrow. Click. So. And another one. What is this here? The spiracles. So. Yeah, spiracle of a blowfly. So these are basically, these are tubes used for breathing. Okay, so insects, what they have is they have so-called tracheids, and these basically are tubes that go to the outside of the body, and then this is how they actually breathe. So obviously they don't have lungs, but they have these structures here. So let's see if we're able to see some of these tubes. So we put this in again. Yeah, I have to find it, of course. So maybe. Yeah, see, I don't know where it is. Here, here it is. Yeah, so that is basically the opening on the side of an insect in the abdomen, where essentially the air is able to enter. So that's basically how, yeah, it's known as a spiracle, where the air flows in, and in the background we can already see, yeah, those tubes that are actually carrying away then the air to the body cells. So we can even, yeah. See, it's fairly dark. Of course, I have to maybe forgot the condenser. Yep. But it would be nice also of this to have somehow a more or less a complete view. Of course, with 4 times, yeah, I'm able to fit it in on one picture, but that's too small. I want to see more details. So I go up to 10 times, and then I can already see, it doesn't fit, right? So this is the thing again. So, of course, you know what I'm going to do now. We go back here. We go into the import. We start, no, this one, not here. This one, we have to go. I click over here, video 4. Yeah, here, that's the video that I made. Okay. And I leave it at auto detect. I go to stitch. I wait again a minute or so. Nice to imagine that company on the slides might have made a business out of prepping specimens these days. We just seem to get plastic mass-produced ones. It depends really on the company. There are some high-quality microscope slide makers out there who are preparing very good slides, also for medical training. You won't believe it what's available. I mean, and those companies do not sell the slide boxes over Amazon, but actually individual slides. Some of them can be fairly expensive. Some of them are also made on demand. And I know there are some, for example, German companies a German company called Lieder.de, which actually has a pretty extensive online catalog where you can also buy individual slides. But yeah, you got to be aware. Some of them are quite expensive because these are really quality slides. Yeah? And they cannot, basically they're pretty much the same quality what we have got here, right? Oh, of course, now you know, I click crop, yeah? And you get the idea, yeah, auto crop, and export. Yeah. Yeah, see, it's still a little bit blurry here because maybe this is motion blur. This is definitely I've been taking the video here too quickly because it somehow looks a little bit blurry, like in the vertical direction. That's motion blur. So my mistake. I made the video too quickly. Yeah. So the shutter speed, it's a little bit more clear up here. Do you see that? Yeah, it's more crisp here. So maybe I was slower here at the beginning, but then over here, down here, I was maybe a little too fast, and that's why it's kind of blurry. Yeah. So this is something that you have to be careful. Yeah. Yeah. So it's yeah, over here it's yeah, just and here it becomes a bit more crisp. Yeah. So maybe I was a little too fast with down here. Yeah. So oh, just a second. Did I not? Just a second, what did I just do? Did I not? I just realized that I forgot to switch over to the different scene. Really? Ah! Sorry guys, folks. Yeah, of course you have a static image because I forgot to switch over. My mistake, my bad. Sorry. Okay. Yeah. No, you still had the microscope view and I forgot to switch over to the program. Yeah. So that's the reason. Ah, my bad. Okay, I'll show you again. Basically, yeah. Yeah, what I've done is, yeah, so that's the stitched image. Okay. We go to crop as before, auto crop, yeah, export, and now you should be able to see it. Yeah. And if you look here, yeah, it looks kind of blurry here, right? And the reason it's blurry because I made the video a little too quickly. I was kind of moving the slide too quickly. And here on the top, here on the top, here on the top, you see that the tubes still look much more crisp. So I was actually moving the slide slower here. And then I was kind of going a little bit too quickly maybe down here. Yeah, and that's why it kind of looks blurry. Yeah. So this kind of explains a little bit of also back to the question if you get a higher image quality if you're using static images, and the answer is most likely probably because if you go too fast and make the video too fast and the shutter speed is too slow, then you're getting something like this. Yeah. Okay, so here we go. There was something I just wanted to try. I didn't try this yet. If we go to Stitch. Not auto orientation import, it is now auto detect. Let's try the following. I don't know. Let's try something wrong, like a rotating motion. That's not what it's supposed to be, but let's see what happens. Let's see what happens if I choose the wrong geometry. Maybe it still works. I don't know. Maybe it still works. It's quite small. It's interesting. You do see a little bit like a cushioning effect, so that's a little bit thicker on here and thinner here in the middle. Yeah, yeah. So maybe this is not the best. Let's go Stitch again, or I don't know, spherical. What would that be? Ah, look, that's nice. You see that it tries to compensate a little bit. Perspective. Yeah, but that's the stitching. For the importing, you have planar motion with perspective. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, in any case, you can experiment and play around with it quite a bit. Yeah, but if it's not able to combine it into an image, then try a different geometry. Yeah, okay, not so much of a difference here. Yeah. So, okay, I think enough of image stitching. Right now, what I would like to do. Okay, let's try to move back again to the desk view. Okay. I think I'm pretty much through with all of the I think so. I've now showed you all of the insect slides. Okay. However, there are two slides that I did not show you yet last time. This one is actually quite nice as well. You see some tiny dots here, not insects. What does it say here? Difficult to read. I couldn't almost read it. Yeah, I have a problem. Polytomella or something like that. Yeah. But if you, I'm going to now show you this under the stereo microscope. Yeah, so simply to wrap up a little bit of last week's activity here. So let's remove this here. And this slide goes here. Yeah. You see that these 5 dots on here. The magnification is still quite low. You see that there's a black ring on the outside here, so it's a ringed slide. If you turn it around, you see that there is paper here. Yeah, so it is non-transparent. So I have to use the stereo microscope. And let's zoom in a little bit. Let's zoom in and let's try to figure out what this actually is. Yeah, it goes a little bit out of focus. Look, it looks like tiny foraminifera, which have been placed on the slide, and something that kind of, I wonder what it is a little bit those lines in the background. I wonder if these are paper fibers or if this is some kind of a fungus. I don't know. Yeah, but those things here, looks almost a little bit like it's I don't know, a fungus or something, but I don't know. Yeah. So these are foraminifera. Yeah, which basically, I also did not quite anticipate. By the way, another interesting thing here. I also wanted to show this. It's a little technical thing. Let's put this away here. And no, let's put it still on here. And somewhere else. And do you actually see this ring here? You see there's a dark spot here and there's a brighter area around here. Okay. And this is actually a reflection of my room light going through the eyepieces. So what I'm doing right now is I'm holding my hands over the eyepieces and look what happens, it disappears. I'm going to, this is actually a reason why if you want to get a better image, if the image contrast is not high enough, it is because there's light entering actually the eyepieces of the microscope. Normally this doesn't disturb because you're looking through the eyepieces yourself and you're casting a shadow yourself. But right now I'm not looking through the eyepieces and this is pointed to the lamp, and therefore, I'm now covering it and letting go, and that's something where I have to make some plastic, maybe 3D printed some plastic covers for the eyepieces so that I get a yet better image. Yeah, here, just wanted to share this with you. Here now you see it much better, the reflection of the lamp, of my room. So some nice forums I wanted to show you, and here this one as well, also from these are also forums, but there are so many of them in the sand that I had problems seeing the individual ones. See, and the image quality, while not perfect, is significantly better than the one from last week, because last week I still had the old camera. The disadvantage of this camera is that it does not allow me to do anything manual. So that is, I still chose it because it's quite convenient for making these YouTube live streams. It will automatically always adjust the exposure and so on. So it's a fairly convenient thing, but it's not always suitable for image editing. For example, right now, it looks fine. But if I go quickly over here, you see how the background it becomes brighter, and how it adjusts the exposure time. Okay, so that is a little bit of the if you need maximum control, then maybe these cameras are not the ideal thing, but it's perfectly suited for live streams because I do not have to worry and keep on adjusting it. Yeah. So again, here these are also supposed to be forearms, but yeah, you have to look very carefully to be able to find those structures, and I did not find a lot of them. Okay, but yeah, so this is actually a fairly cheap camera compared to others, and it's an industrial camera. Yeah, so. And if you're interested in the technology behind the whole thing and how I set it up, I am currently preparing for my other channel a little review or simply where I explain to you how I set it up. Yeah. So, what time is it? Oh, it's already 1 hour 10 minutes, and we're still I don't know. Yeah. So, question, hi, how are you? I would like to buy a microscope for hobby and professional. Can you give a starting point? Ooh, it's a difficult question. Okay, that's a really difficult question because, how shall I put it? What people expect from a microscope is so different. And sometimes it's almost a question of, I don't know, of a belief system, you know. I just want to tell you a little bit some of the views that I have encountered in when reading books and reading online forums and videos. There are different approaches, and I'm not saying that one of them is better than the other one or so. It's a question of philosophy, really. I mean, my philosophy is just buy yourself pretty much any microscope which is not a toy microscope, and just learn. Okay, and then you upgrade. So that's one possibility. And it doesn't take a lot of money, right? It's just to get your your toes wet, as one says. Then there are other people who say, well, what you should do is you should not buy yourself a new cheap microscope. You should rather go out and buy yourself a refurbished quality microscope. Like, for example, a good Leitz or Zeiss microscope from the 1970s or 80s, which has been refurbished. These are quality devices and not so expensive, and they give you a lot of value. And you can find a lot of spare parts for those. So basically, used microscopes that are refurbished. That's the second strategy, right? Third strategy is just basically go out on Amazon and buy yourself something, right? But you see, I wouldn't say that there is one right or wrong way. It depends really a lot on your personal attitude, preferences, and so on. But I would say that in many cases, it's difficult for me to say that. I'm going to say it anyway. The focus should not be the equipment so much. The focus should be nature observation. And a microscope that costs 10 times as much will not allow you to see 10 times more. That's the important thing. Yeah. So generally, if you have a microscope with a condenser, then and a filter holder, then you can already do quite a lot with that. Yeah. So my general advice is probably not to spend too much at the beginning, especially if you don't know yet what you want. Just go with a reasonable device and then upgrade to a new microscope as you go along. Many microscopes in the range of, let's say, about 300 euros, dollars, to, let's say, $1,000 cannot be really upgraded so much, right? There are no spare parts or a very limited number of spare parts available and so on. And if you want to have a modular device, then you have to go to some of the more expensive companies. Yeah? But I would say it's a little bit of how do you say, I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong way, really. I would avoid toy microscopes, however, the very low cost ones, yeah? So is there any way to soften the insect a little to make the entire preparation? Every time I try to assemble the object, it gets crushed and lost its shape. Insects, indeed, also because they have a certain thickness, basically are kind of can become damaged. And generally, one way of softening it is indeed to put it into some First of all, rehydrating it with water, and then adding some base like sodium hydroxide or potassium hydroxide, and this really softens the exoskeleton a lot for a few days. Yeah, you leave it in there. I see the same thing with astronomy and telescopes. Too often people think that they can buy into the hobby by getting sophisticated and expensive equipment without knowing much about how to use it. Yeah, that's I've been in astronomy myself some time ago, still interested. We've got the same problem. Yeah, people think that the higher the magnification, the better the microscope, or the higher the magnification, the better the telescope, right? But sometimes, the most interesting things can also be seen at low magnification. So that's generally, a thing that can be seen also in astronomy as well. Yeah. I got one with a screen for $40, and it's wonderful because I'm old now, and the screen is a big help, and I can broadcast from it. Yes, by the way, that's another thing. Sometimes it's simply more convenient and easier to observe the things directly on the screen. And one of the reasons also why I bought myself an HDMI camera is actually I've got two of them, one here and one on my other microscope from my other YouTube channel, is because I can actually project it directly on a screen without actually having to go through a computer. So all I do is I directly connect the HDMI cable to a monitor, and then I can directly observe, and I don't have to wait for the computer to start and just directly observe it on the screen, right? And that's really a convenient thing. Yeah. So, thank you for my first year of microscopy. Great inspiration. Yes. You know what I'm gonna do? I just a very brief announcement. In 2 weeks' time, I will. Not next week, but in 2 weeks' time, it will not be on a Saturday, the live stream, but on a Sunday, because I have a Saturday appointment. Just wanted to pre-inform you, but don't worry, there will always be the trailer as an announcement. Okay, so this is simply so in 2 weeks' time there will be a little bit shift in a schedule, unless you have some more questions. I think I'm just going to call it quits for today. It's already, again, almost 1 hour, 20 minutes. What I will be doing as well is I'm going to be fine-tuning a little bit my setup here with my stereo microscope. And maybe we can do a little bit of stereo microscopy as well, possibly also with some better specimens. I just collected these 5 minutes before the start of the live stream from my lamp. And it looks pretty messy. Yeah. Oh, by the way... before I forget, sand also looks very nice. To do a little bit of sand analysis and to look around of what you're able to find in sand. So, for example, in this sand sample, I found some lot of glass shards, some sea urchin spikes. Yeah. So sand analysis is also something that I would like to. I've got to do a little bit here, and for these things, the stereo microscope is really really nice. Yeah. So some last comments. Thanks for the helpful videos. Could you answer a question, please? Is there a way to test the magnification of an eyepiece? I have a cheap 30 times and 50 times, and both look the same. So I think one is wrong. That's an interesting one. What you could try to do is just you put them next to each other. I mean, you can see if they really magnify the same by looking at some text. That's one thing. Or by looking actually at a lamp and projecting the lamp like a lens, and then see if there is a difference in the size of the projected image. But honestly, I think a 30 times eyepiece is surprisingly high. I mean, I know that 15 times eyepieces exist, but 30 times eyepiece, 25 times was already the maximum, and this was already difficult to look through. So 30 times is already quite high. And so for this reason, I'm a little bit surprised, I have to tell you. Yeah, I used HDMI to screen solution for my kids to observe together with me. They also are too small for the oculars. Yes, especially, for example, it's another thing, children sometimes, and we see this also in the school where I work with, especially younger children, they have a problem of actually using both eyepieces. Sometimes they see double images and they don't know how to adjust it properly. And what you end up seeing is that in many cases the kids simply close one eye and simply observe through the microscope with only one eye, because then you're able to see at least something. And for this reason, those HDMI camera solutions are, I think, also very practical if you, for example, want to do some kind of science demonstrations or for a science fair. Yeah, where some people are looking through a microscope, but you also would like to make it available for other people to look through, then I think those cheap microscope cameras are pretty nice solution here. Okay, yeah, it's not always glass. Yeah, that could be, but I did see some green pieces as well. I don't know about this one here. It could be something. Yeah, one would have to check a little bit. I don't know about this one here. Yeah. Sometimes it's glass, sometimes it might be maybe some other minerals. Yeah. So, okay, thank you. I think the 30 times was over marketed and it's actually 15 as it's only a cheap eyepiece. Okay. Yeah. So, yeah, opal. Okay. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah, but in any case, that's something that one could also observe. Just for your info, a little bit of why I was not successful with a little experiment here. I actually tried to extract some microplastics from the sand, and I couldn't find a lot. Not because there is generally no microplastics present, but I think it is that maybe due to the wave action, the microplastics, the denser sand has settled on the bottom and the lighter microplastic has been swept away. So I think there has already been a separation process on the shore. My hypothesis, because I actually did find quite a bit of other types of plastic. Something blue over here as well, I don't know what that is. Yeah. Yeah, so, okay, people, I think I'm going to call it quits for today. So you see, yeah, things, there are plenty of things to do using a microscope. I encourage you also to try out maybe this software. Yeah, I think that's all for today. I will also upload, as always, new videos. Please do consider watching them as well. I'm always, of course, thankful for any comment, not only comments, but also suggestions of things to observe. Micrometeorites has been already mentioned, and even if I'm not quite sure if the round structures that you see are actually micrometeorites, maybe we can still have a look at them. Okay, yeah, I wish you all the best. Happy microbe hunting as always. See you around next time, and all the best, and bye-bye.